This is a Friday night. It's Friday FishEZ, and we're here to talk with the group, and I'm sure everybody will be making a connection very soon. I do have a little test going on, and one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is your preference as to whether or not live stream should be on vertical or horizontal display. That's something that is being promoted by YouTube. Also, I'm going to see about using a separate little device like this one. I have a separate phone, and I'm going to see if I can get the chat up by going to the chat. Let me see if I can join from a separate phone. Let's see how that works. Live. Okay, one watching. Looks like North Aquatics. Thank you for joining us. Yes, I am going to try to join myself. Oh, that's not going to work well. Turn down the volume. Let's see. One watching. Looks like North Aquatics. Thank you for joining us. Yes, I am going to try to. Oh, that's upside down. Okay. So thank you very much. Craig's Catfish is also online, and so I turned down the volume there. I just wanted to see if I can join the chat. I don't know if I can see the chat using the telephone. Okay, so back to the question. So what you're looking at now is a live stream, and this is Friday night FishEZ. And this live stream, as you can see, is one that is portrait style. Now, I don't know why, in the case of many, I don't know why YouTube is promoting the portrait style for live streams, but it seems to me that maybe it's not as good. Maybe it is. I don't know. We're going to give it a try tonight. It gets more views, says Craig's, because apparently it is one of those formats that's better for the telephone, right? If somebody's got a smartphone, they're going to be able to see it. So I'm looking at my second phone to see if I can read the chat. Okay. So what we're doing is we're going to take a look at the Craig's Catfish has had good success with that. But if you're watching this on a TV, isn't it true that you're going to just see the vertical and you're not going to see what's on the sides? It seems like that's kind of the opposite of what one would expect, right? Let's take a first glance at some of the things that have been going on in the fish room this week. I'm going to point out over here that we've got some new fish in the fish room, sort of like new fish, but we'll see what you think about that. We do have some of the egg breeder boxes. We lost this batch. Sometimes they just die off, and I don't know why. And the whole batch just died off. Even last night, I gave them a slow drip here, and even with a slow drip, if it was the water parameters that was causing it, I don't know, they just started dying off. This batch, no problem, doing very well. This is the G2 batch. This is actually these are platinum, and then I got there were just 4 in this other batch I threw in there, and there were 25 from the GB3, all about the same age. So I just throw them in there, So when I throw them in there, it means basically I've identified what they're in there. So now this is something interesting. I caught this right now. The water levels are getting high. It means that right here, it means that my weir, sponge weir, is getting a little bit it's too blocked up. Now you can see water's not quite overflowing on the emergency overflow, but I need to replace this. So what I do is typically I grab another sponge that let me reach down and get one. Okay, I have one and it's dry, so I have to wet it. You never put a dry. If I were to just take this and put it in there, no water would go through it. So what I'm going to do is Get it wet. Squeeze it in. Make sure it's good and moist. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lower that water level simply by replacing. I just pull that forward. If there's any fry that happen, and just replace it with one in there. See? Kind of make sure there's no wiggles, and then we can remove this one. And this one gets, what I do is I use my sink and really get it good and clean. And then I use this one for the next one. Usually I have 2 or 3 on the row there, so I just go and clean it sometimes once or twice a day. Once the fry get big enough, as you can see from the fry boxes on this side, these are, we got super reds. The super reds are now big enough. They're looking good. You can see they're fattened up. They got the condo in there, and they're not using the sponge weir. They're using the barred or gated weir. Look like you can see they're not going to be able to get through that. So then this one is less easily clogged. But this is a great idea if you're interested in inside your breeder boxes having a place to hide for certain fish, like if you had Lucipinus catfish, or if you had some plecos. These guys, just look at them, they love this thing, and they inhabit every little spot. Every little one is used, and you can see what it looks like from the angle. So gives you an idea why these are bio balls. They're used for throwing into your sump. These are the large ones, and I don't have big large sumps, so I had a couple of these lying around, probably from an auction, and that's where I got them. And the idea came, I don't remember exactly. Fish Fam Link, welcome. Craig's Catfish, yes. And then I started using them for this, and look at it. It's just like, here's one without a bio ball, because I only have 4 total. And then here's the bio ball. There's like, even, you see there's a fish on every little section. And they have these nice little dividers so that they can kick each other out, and they each take one, and there's holes. And if I were to see in there, you'd see that like there's a fish in every hole. But this is, these are long fins. These are not super reds, those are albinos. So I have albinos. So the long fin bushy nose are in 2 of these containers. It looks like there's quite a few. Now these are big enough. They need to go into a tank now, and I will be moving them probably next week. So these won't be here next week. In fact, I won't even be here next week. Just so you know, FYI, no live stream next Friday. I'm taking the week off. I have some personal matters to care for. So what do you do with the weirs like this? Sometimes they do get clogged up. I just want to point out, I use a toothbrush, and I use my old toothbrush. Let me grab my toothbrush, and I will just give it a quick cleaning and make sure it doesn't clog with the make sure I don't clog it up with the green beans. I'm feeding green beans. These are the style that you get from the French cut. Let me show you a can of what it looks like. Okay, this is the can. I use this seasoned. They only come seasoned, and the green beans French cut style. These are the seasonings. They're just basically pieces of I guess that's red pepper. They don't eat the pepper, red pepper. Here's one right here. They will not eat it. They will not touch it. I don't know what it is, how nasty it tastes. I don't care for the red peppers because of their bitterness. And I think that's why they won't touch it either. So when I open the can, I usually take my tweezers and just pull out all the big red pieces of seasoning, because the red peppers, they're going to just pollute the tank anyway, because no fish will eat it. No fish I've found ever eat red peppers. Now maybe you have found a fish that does it, but I haven't. And so these are being fed green beans. They will decimate these beans until it becomes like a powdery, fibrous bottom. And then I clean out the bottom with siphoning it out. Then after they finished 1 can of green beans, that way it doesn't spoil, I just use up the whole can, or I keep it in the refrigerator if it's open. And then the green beans is gone. Well, once it's gone, I will actually take and clean out the bottom and then feed them the pellets, the small basslier. So they're going to get much higher protein. This is something new. I used to feed just green beans all the time, but I'm getting much faster growth and healthier growth because I'm alternating between the green beans. They're getting green beans, which kind of cleans out their system, keeps them from getting bloat. Very low protein compared to the high protein granular foods. And then I'll take the granular foods and feed them for a couple of days. Their stomachs, look at the stomach of this one, looks golden. When I feed the bass layer, the actual stomachs they look a little dark because of the food. And I know they're eating it. They're just doing very well on it, actually. Fish Tropic Canada. The No Name brand, it doesn't come seasoned. Okay, North Aquarius. Do you get that at the dollar store? The No Name brand? This one is the only one I found. I got this at the grocery store near me. I think it was at Freshco. Do you have the somebody mentioned last week that you can get these green beans French cut style at the dollar store? I don't know if it comes. Okay. Food Basic. Food Basic has it? No. It's funny because I actually green beans. Well, I actually went to Food Basic and they did not have the French cut style. I do know that some Food Basics have different things than other Food Basics, so that's one of the things I have to do. So I appreciate the tip on Food Basic, but that grocery store, I think it's helped done to me. Now, here's something I did this week. Actually, I did it a few hours ago. What we've done is, I'm going to show you the mascara barbs. These mascara barbs, they were looking very light. I wanted to get more color into them. Sorry for the glare. The lighting is on there because of the live stream. But they were starting to show a little bit of color, these mascara barbs, and I thought maybe they're going to start coloring up, but I noticed it was on a bare bottom, so I put black sand in here, and just so you wonder, that's just a piece. I had to cut a piece of PVC off the intake. I'll tell you why in a minute. But these, as soon as I put the black sand in, I noticed they turned darker. They're not as washed out, so that's kind of a good thing. Kind of a neat fish, actually. But you'll notice also I put in this ship, sunken ship. Ornaments I use for specific purposes. This one is actually going to be a reservoir for the Lucipinus, or actually, not Lucipinus, I think that they're Petricola that we put in here. These are the ones that we were raising in a 10-gallon. I wanted to get them into a bigger tank, so there's one swimming about. There's one underneath that plant. See it moving? These are pink Petricola, or leucistic style. And let's see if, looks like they've liked the ship. So if I look inside the ship, you'll see them in there. Yeah, they're swimming about in their new home. They were put in here just a few hours ago. And I put the black sand in first so that I wouldn't disturb anything once I put the new fish in. So these mascara barbs are getting used to new companions in the tank. And I do change the water quite often, so at least this much. I will only drop it this much almost daily. Well, probably 3 times a week. And then, as you can see, It takes, I just turn on the water and water spews out of the source right there. That little PVC sticking down, you see it at the top there? It kind of goes up and over. So you see like the tank has a pipe and it goes up and over, and then I had to cut off the end so that it doesn't stick in the water. And just so you're wondering why, it's because these catfish will go up into the pipe. If it's still in the water, they will go in the pipe. It's crazy. They will get stuck in the pipe. It's just, they love to get into tight, small spaces, and that's what they're doing. So I cut it off. I forgot to remove it, and that's one day I'll get to removing that. Here's a batch of angels that came in 2 days ago. I don't think they've hatched yet. I checked a couple hours ago, but we have very, very little white eggs. It looks like it's going to be another big batch. That's kind of nice. I don't see any moving about or wiggling. Take my glasses off. No, I don't see any. So I'm suspecting no later than tomorrow then. Moving right along, this is what we're going to do for this particular one. We're going to put black bottom in here too. Because these fish, the ocellatus, subocellatus, there's one right there in the front. That fish is definitely not coloring up. They're not seem to be coloring up on the bare bottom. And I think that's the biggest issue. They won't color up. We're gonna pull out some pairs of these Odessa barbs this week. I want to set aside 5 pair, if I can find 5 pair. A gentleman in the south of Ontario has asked for them, so we're going to get these sexed and give him some pairs. Down below, the younger group of fish are doing quite well. They have Lucipennis in their tank, and it's on black rock. They have Lucipennis that hide out in this little hide. You can see them in there. And they also have them on the other one. Now the reason I have 2, one on each end, is because the fish will swim from one to the other. Just like their hideouts. So if you stand here long enough, you're going to see a Lucipennis go darting across. And they just like to dart across from side to side. Lucipennis are, or Petricola too, are more of a nocturnal fish. Most catfish are. And they're kind of a fish that you don't always see during the day. And when they're hiding like this, you have no idea. There's about 13 in here. And you hardly see a one. But throw some food in there, and then all of a sudden you'll see them. They come out for the food only. To give you an idea, we'll go over to the breeder tank, my other colony that's breeding, and just show you. I'm just going to show you the fish here and why I keep a blue light on. Actually, the reason is I don't keep a white light on, I keep a blue light only, is because I've put in this tank Lucipennis, and I put in some red tiger barbs so that they can just act as, I thought they would be a kind of a nice companion for the tank, and they are. But even those tiger barbs, they're light sensitive and they're hiding very much. But if I were to turn off the light, let's see what happens. Completely dark. I don't think you're going to see anything. Oh, well, wait a minute. We are looking at, and they come right out. Look at them. They're all out now. It's funny how these particular tiger barbs are light sensitive, and they don't like bright lights. And we'll see if the catfish come out. Oh, there's one over here. Can't see it for the reflection, but see if I step over here, maybe you might get a look. There's one over here. If I go over there, then you can't see it. Okay, well, they're in there. Oh, there's one. He's going zipping back and forth. So you see him kind of coming out. There they are. See him in the back? See, they're coming out now because I turned off the light. You feel comfortable in the dark, definitely. And if I even touch the lid here, everybody comes to the top, and look at that. Even the catfish come running up. There he is. They think there's food. They think so, anyway. So where I had the petricola, the pink petricola were in here, as you know, and as you can see, I put in a black. I wanted to put in a black bottom because I'm going to get this set up for doing some cichlid breeding. We've got cichlids all over the place now. We've got to work at getting some pairs laying eggs. This tank here has one male, and he's paired off with one of these females. I'm just not sure which one it is, but a beautiful electric blue ram. And we have some beautiful electric blue rams for sale. They look just like these. So they're going to be posted in the next day or two on aquarium.biz. Aquarium.biz. The new website is actually up and running, and you can check it out. And it still needs a little. I think it still needs a little bit of testing, and so we need some people to test it. We'll break through the little bugs, but look at the beauty in those. I think that might be the female, the one with the kind of a reddish head. Do you think that's the one that he's accepted? If he has, I'd like to pull the other ones out. Looks like this penguin tetra in the middle is just being a bully. Look at him. He's got beautiful colors, more than the other ones. And he's bullying the other ones. They're kind of chased in the corner. These guys are supposed to be the dithering fish, but yeah, they just need a little more time. But these are all young electric blues. They have not been breeding yet. But as you can see, look at the one in the back. She looks like she's kind of full of eggs. I would think that she's ready to go. He tends to think what I need to do maybe is take out this little ornament in the middle. I used it for just to be able to have something to block. But I have such big filters in the back that maybe you don't need it. Hi, Roman. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And I think that's at least in the vertical mode, it seems as though I'm able to see all of the chat comments, and I don't have to scroll like on the other case where I have to look down below. I see the latest chat comment. But as soon as I figure out which female and get the other two out, I'm sure that they'll go ahead and lay some eggs for us. So these would be some beautiful electric blues. Okay, all right. I think I know. Seems like it's that one back there. That female in the back. She's kind of tit for tat. She's kind of what do you call it? Flirting with him. Maybe that's the case in this one up above. We can spot the right pair, then I can take out the other two. And then what I do is I'll put those females, all the females I have those two plus one more, and I'll put 3 females in here. And I'll let them settle down and get comfortable with this tank in them by themselves. And then I'll add another male. I have males over here. So here's one right here. And he's a beauty. There's also a secondary male, and he's the one that gets chased, but he's still beautiful too. Something about electric blue rams, they really do impress. I have these little puppy dogs. These are the little ruby barbs that are just been, they follow me around no matter what side of the tank room I'm on. They go in a group. They're just like, oh my goodness, feed me, feed me, feed me. Follow me, watch. We're just gonna walk down here and watch. They're coming. In just a second, they're gonna be here. I can't get away from them. They are funny. Come over here. And of course, the cardinal tetras do the opposite. They go the opposite side. They're always trying to shy away from me. They're a shy fish. But the ruby barbs, no. They're more playful and more fun. So, down below, just looking at some of our, these are our Odessas and long-finned rosy barbs, long-finned rosies. Long-finned rosies are just amazing. I'm really shocked how quick they are. Most long-finned fish you think don't stand a chance for the net, right? Well, try netting one of these. They've perfected the art of darting away with using those big long fins as extra leverage. Yes, red neon barbs. Okay, so I hope you're excited. Now we're going to take a look at a new fish in the fish room. And this came in this week. And let's see if we can spot them. Coming back over here. Now these ruby barbs are going to try to be the paparazzi, and they're going to be trying to get in the camera, I know. But let's take a look. What else we got in here? I do have for sale, I'm going to put it up on Kijiji. I have a lot of luminatus, male luminatus. They're beautiful fish. I have just males available. I have a lot of extra males, which I guess is a good thing. They're the prettier fish. And there they are. There's about, I think I have about a dozen. Fish I'm looking for is right here. Where did it go? Okay. So, do you remember this fish? Whoop, there it goes. It's an apistogramma. Just coloring up so nice. It's an apistogramma pandurini, or often called panduro. The apistogramma pandurini. This one's got nice some colors. He's zipping around. There's actually 3 males in here. And that's what's new in the fish room. Not these fish, but guess what? We finally located and got some. We got some females. Would you like to see some of the females that are going to be, once they, of course, they got to get through quarantine. They need to be dewormed before they can be mixed with other fish or moved about in the fish room. But up here, we've got some females. Let's take a look. There they are. The lights are off to keep things really quiet. Keep things calm. I don't want them to spook. It will spook easy. Let's see if I can get in there. Can you see that? Ooh. They're already setting up their, looks like they're setting up their hierarchies. For right now, the females, I will probably put the females in different places, kind of separate them up because they're the more aggressive of the two. But the reason why, oh, I forgot to use my microphone today. I don't know if my voice has been bad. Can you guys hear me all right? Has it been pretty good? This females, did we back off? Maybe I can back off. It will show better. There we go. Look at that. That's a female Pandurini. Very different. Very different. You'll notice that she's got lots of yellow color. She still has red tinges around the caudal fin. She's got an ink blotch on her belly. And one of the telltale signs is, look at the ventral or pector, pectoral fin, not pectoral, pelvic fins. You look at the pelvic fins, they're black. The males were yellow. There's 5 females in here. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see them all. Yeah, these are beautiful. They're going to be ready for breeding very soon. These actually came from Tails and Scales in Toronto. And I hope if you ever get a chance to see their store, they're awesome. And they do have a lot of the best reptiles and fish around, because they go for the not so common fish, and so they draw lots of people who are more interested in that, finding the less common, more shall we say, more interesting fish. So yeah, here in this tank we have a breeder. Looks like I did the same thing. I put 3 female rams. I didn't know which one would be ready to breed, so I put 1 male, and it looks like he's chosen this one in the front here. She's gorgeous. Beautiful German blue. And this is if this is the right pairing, let's see. I don't know how, if he's going to chase her or she's going to chase him. As soon as they get ready and I see a tube come out, then I'm going to remove all the other females. Look at that. I think she likes it there, and I think she's the one accepted. The other female in the back there, you see she's kind of she's just kind of setting up her distinct territory. Here's a male Pandarini. I've got a couple males in here. There's one being harassed. I'm gonna have to remove him. But look at the color. Oops, sorry, I shook it. Hi, Benjamin Peters and Hagen Hill Design. Red Laser. Boy, everybody's here tonight. Thank you so much. Empire of Dirt Aquatics. Thank you for joining. Is there any questions? I want you to all try something. If you have a question, I want you to do something that I learned after being on LRB's last week. You see those big red questions Roman has put on his question? You can, a lot of people say, oh yeah, just go to the, what do you call it, emojis. But you know what? It wasn't in my emoji list. Not at all. But what you can do, you can just start typing, and you can do colon, question, colon. And that'll give you the big red question mark. Colon, question, colon. Empire of Dirt Aquatics? Oh, the pictures, that is Jeff. Hi Jeff, I was wondering what happened to you tonight. I didn't catch on, but you're right. You changed your name. Empire of Dirt Aquatics. Well, that's interesting. It's the same image. I see your mug. Oh, there we go. Oh, I thought I lost the feed. Oh, I hope not. I'm still here. Okay, I'm still here, everyone. I didn't drop out completely. Sorry about that. I don't know. It was an internet connection problem. So, let's see. All right. So now, question was hacklefish. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you for your patience. How do you deworm your arrivals? Well, I use levamisole. Now, levamisole is the ideal dewormer. It's the only one that works for... Now, levamisole is the ideal dewormer. It's the only one that works for camelinus worms, and it also will... camelinus worms, and it also will be good for all other internal worms. It's rather difficult to find in Canada, and so I have ordered it from the US, and I've received it in Canada, but I can't guarantee that you'll get it. Some people have had difficulties because Canada likes to think that they're, I don't know, they like to have lots of controls on things. I guess maybe it creates jobs or something. But levamisole is the way I do it. You don't need much. It comes as a sheep dewormer, and you can get 52 grams, or I buy some. I do have, for those interested, I can help them out. If somebody in my club, for example, came to me, I would help them out. You know, give them what they needed if they felt that they had worms. Camelinus worms are bad, and usually by the time you see them sticking out of the anus of a fish, and you see the pointy red parts of the worm sticking out, usually they're very heavily infested. So in that case, you can use the levamisole treatment, and it comes in two forms. Let me show you what I have. It's actually two separate ways of deworming, and I use them both at the same time. First, I feed them blue flakes. Now, this is just a bottle. This is not what it's in, but it's blue flakes. I got this from Steve Rebicki at Angels Plus, I believe, and it is blue flakes. So these blue flakes are basically flakes that have levamisole in them. And just feeding them this gets the levamisole internally into the gut of the fish. They seem to like it. Most fish gobble it up. If it's a fish that's not used to eating flakes, you might have a little trouble. But just a pinch will get them to eat it. And then I also have the powder form. And so, for example, here is a very small amount, but you know how much this will take care of? This will take care of tons. One of these 1/32 scoops of levamisole, 12.5 gallons. So two of these for 25 gallons. So 2 for 25. So if you had 100, it would just basically be 8 scoops of levamisole for a 100-gallon tank, and that will be enough. That's a very strong dosage, and it's in the water. You turn off the lights. You don't, because light will kill the medication power, or what is the word? It's the ability for it to work, right? You know, it's potency. There's the word. It'll kill the potency if you have lights on. So you turn off lights, you try to get the tank dark, you put in the granules after you fed them the blue flakes, and believe me, they will be dewormed. Now, at the rate, you can actually overdose on levamisole, and I have never had a fish die from a treatment. If you overdose a little bit, what it does is it kills the worm, not just stun it. Unfortunately, you have to understand how it works, and so it actually paralyzes the gut of the fish, and so the actual worms are forced out. They become paralyzed too, and they're forced out of the body. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're dead. So what typically is done is you give them a treatment, and then you vacuum up the bottom, and you try to get rid of all the worms that way. But I prefer the method of giving them more medication so that it doesn't just paralyze the worm, but it actually kills the worm. They say that on a treatment of 4 times the recommended dosage, it will kill the worms. And then you do it 3 days later for any eggs that might hatch, and kill those off too, because it will not penetrate the eggs. But that makes sense, because most eggs have have a shell, and it's not likely to happen. So I hope it answers your question on how to use levamisole properly. Let me see. Still here. Great. Okay. Nice to meet you too, Red Laser. Coral Works is here. Okay, don't forget to hold down on the screen or hit the three dots to find the up in the shorts menu or shorts mode. Okay, so if you're in shorts mode, that's how you do the thumbs up. Okay, right now we only got 18 thumbs up, so that's what it's saying. We could do more since there's a lot more connected tonight. Any questions? Angels Plus is in the United States, correct. In that particular case, I was visiting. I was in California. I just ordered it and brought it with me when I came back from California. Also, some people they do have a post office box in Buffalo, for example, and they can run across the border and pick up things. Of course, it's a lot of hassle, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. If Shady Grady, beautiful new icon. Yes, we love your new sticker. Thank you for the videos this week. There was a lot to see, and we're always anxious to hear what Bubbles has to say. That's your companion on your live streams, Bubbles, right? So thank you so much for doing that. We had an interesting week. Okay. And then, yes, the entire cycle of the treatment. So, in other words, after yeah, in the life cycle, or else you're going to end up with levamisole resistant worms. So, yeah, I like to overdose a little bit because it's safe for the fish. I've never had a fish get lost, but I will. I didn't finish my thought a minute ago, and that was to explain to you what exactly you're going to experience with your fish. Because their gut is become a little paralyzed, they will stop eating. It will take about 3 days before they start eating again, but don't worry. A few days of loss of food is not going to, without food is not going to kill your fish. You can leave them up to a week without even thinking about it if they're adult fish. Of course, you wouldn't be doing this on baby fish because baby fish are not usually carrying worms at that young age, you know. If you've treated all your fish, you start breeding, they come into your tanks not from outside door ponds. They don't come from the local fish store. They don't pick up worms. But if you are buying fish and you bring it in, yes. Bleach does kill the eggs. Yeah, okay. But then what we're talking about there is taking out the fish, and I hope that means you're bleaching the tank with nothing in it, right? I'm not sure how you would go about using bleach safely, but if that's what you meant. Thank you, Shady Grady, and it looks like I'm caught up. Do you test all your new fish that way? Do you treat all your new fish? Yes. Yes. Behind me is our fish that we picked up. I got these fish up here. The top, this 2.5 gallon, has some male. These are male German blues, although I don't really consider them good quality German blues. There's something about them. They look dark to me. These are some males that we got. They look too dark. They almost look like blue blacks, but they were supposed to be German blues. But anyway, we've got female. I got extra females, so I picked up these males. So they're in this quarantine tank. They got levamisole on 4.3, and then again another treatment on 4.7. So what you could do is after usually about, I think it's about 10 days maybe, or I forget now how much time later, but it could just be a follow-up treatment. I would say a follow-up treatment 10 days later, one more time. And that, if you've treated them both twice, 3 days apart, that should kill everything. But honestly, you just never know. One could slip through. And that's what the the third treatment does. It just ensures that you get them good. And that way you don't have any survivors, and as was pointed out, it prevents some from to survive, and then each time they survive, they're going to be more resistant, right? Because the ones that are survivors are the resistant ones. Yes, yes, Jeff. They would be sold as black rams in the U.S. Yeah, but they're not dark like ours. Our black rams are black, you know. And if you want to see the latest ones we have for sale, they're at aquarium.biz, and you can just look at the items. I've been adding each week items, and in the next few weeks, I'm expecting to have every fish we have, soluble fish, every fish that we have in our whole stock on the website. And then we might just have some, what shall I say, we'll just have some out of stock as they're not available, but at least I want to show people what we have, and that's the thing. I think people need to see what we do have. Okay, yeah, CoralWorks points out some nice points. Are solid ones sold as midnight or dark night rams in the U.S.? Well, then, you know, that's what, you know, that's a good point, because on the title, ours really are the dark night or midnight version of the ram. And what I could do is I could put that in the title. It's like black rams midnight / night, midnight and dark night. Yeah. But I think that's dark night with a K, right? That's what I've seen many times. Or is it dark night without a K? I've seen some interesting, beautiful rams, and on the Facebook they've had some interesting ones. It looked like definitely electric blue crossing in and producing some just gorgeous fish. I hope that one day that those can be established and made available, because I think that they're a gorgeous variant. They really are. Very nice fish to have, you know. Thank you for the thumbs up, everyone. We're doing very good. Now, I showed you the females, so those gals are not yet ready to be mixed because they haven't been treated for their worms, but I do know that Tails and Scales has had them for a while. I'm not too worried about other things like ick. The tank has been established for a number of weeks, no ick issues. So these kind of things are helpful. Now, I will continue, even during the treatments, apart from when they're not eating, I will continue to fatten them up. I've been giving them worms, and all live foods, Daphnia worms and brine shrimp, and just, you know, really getting them in good health and in shocking good shape for breeding, so that when they're ready, then we're ready. So that's why we've got some of the things coming in together. So what else can I show you tonight? What else can we talk about? We are having an auction at our club meeting. That's next Wednesday. The Peel Regional Aquarium Club is getting together. We're going to be advertising an auction. There is a link for that auction. You can actually see it, what things are being sold. I've got a few fish in there, including some gold rams and some rummy nose tetras and a few things. And if you want, you can find that link to the auction by going to, you go to the website, and the website is peelaquariumclub.org. Peel Aquarium, P-E-E-L. That's for the Peel region. It's P-E-E-L, not P-E-A-L. Peel Aquariumclub.org. On the cover, on the front page, right at the top, there's a link to the auction, and you can just take a look at the things that I'm selling. And there's another member, Joel, and he's selling a bunch of things. And so we're advertising this week all the way up until Wednesday to get people to show up. It's just a club. It's a Wednesday night. It's not a Saturday or a Sunday. It's a small auction, but these are the things, and we hope it to grow into a bigger auction. So once we get people interested, we're going to no doubt have a bigger auction. Who knows? Maybe this fall. You just never know. So we used to have Peel Regional Aquarium Club used to have their fall auction in October-ish, and it was a great time. So thank you for posting the link. Do we keep any cultures to feed other cultures? Well, yeah, I do, of course. I keep this green water. I culture the green water to feed the Daphnia. And as you can see, I just fed some Daphnia down here. This is green water now, but I had a bunch of Daphne in there. You can see them. When it's green water, you can't see them too well, but by the time they eat it up and clear it up, there's going to be a lot of Daphne in this tank. Now on the other side, I can feed from this tank because this is a little more clear. They've eaten it up, so it's almost time to try to take out as much Daphne as I can before I feed the tank Daphne food. I've also I put this plant from Roman. Thank you, Roman, for the plant. I put it in this tank, and it's just about covered the entire tank. And it's only been, what, 3 weeks? Remember at the last meeting I got it from you? It's just it's water lettuce, and it's crazy water lettuce. It just everywhere. It just stuff grows like mad, but it does very well, and I think it's a good natural way of seeing things. Okay, so this is what we were talking about, whether or not a vertical live stream is really good. Apparently it's very popular, or they're encouraging it. That is, YouTube wants more people to be able to see on a phone. But Evergreen Psyche, you're saying it's the first one and you're not impressed. Well, honestly, I'm not impressed either. I don't. It's a little harder for me to focus just right and to show things. I don't know what the big benefits are. There are benefits and detriment. Well, let's see. I guess it depends. What are you watching this live stream on? Are you watching it on a phone, or are you watching it on a computer, or are you watching it on TV? That's the question. So if I kind of knew what everybody was doing, Robert, Lucas, welcome. How many of you are watching on a phone? Go with the Flow Aquatics is here too. Wow. Everybody's joining up. And let's see, computer. I missed 2/3 of the picture because I watched it on TV or computer, phone, but I still prefer the other way. Because can you just turn the phone? I think you would just turn the phone, right? Tablet, which if tablet you could turn. Desktop. I cast to a TV. Okay, it's giving me a good idea. It seems like most of you don't use a phone. Our channel gets more exposure on the Shorts tab in the YouTube app because anyone can swipe into it. Okay. And you can't turn it or adapt it. That's if you are on the Shorts forum. Because this is, I don't know that this is a short. This is not really a short, but it's a live stream, and it used to be that the default was landscape, and then all of a sudden I started having issues because I realized that the default was portrait, and they had changed the default. So you're on a phone, but you still don't like the interface. Can't post links, can't turn the phone sideways to get in regular mode. Okay. That's interesting. But the flip side is people who have no interest in your channel will swipe into your channel, and it merges vertical live streams and supports in their mobile app. Okay. Well, I rely on word of mouth. I rely on people, like, for example, when you leave this live stream, you go to another live stream and you say, hey, I just came from FishEZ. That was a great live stream. You know, it gets people curious and they want to join and see what it's all about. That to me is word of mouth. And so when you're able to just push something, I mean, I like it better than even a thumbs up. If you'd rather do that than a thumbs up, please be my guest, because exposure like that, when you're dealing with other people who enjoy fish-related items and subjects and talking about fish room and fish and all this, if they are individuals who would like to find some meaty, real information instead of, well, sometimes I don't last long on live streams when it's just chit-chat about, I don't know. I don't understand what they're talking about, but it's not fish-related. So, yeah. So, okay. So evergreen. Yeah, because like from Aqua Malik's video in the line breeding, inbreeding. Yeah. So yeah, it's we do a lot of breeding here, and if you're interested in breeding, then that's the place for you. So we're gonna. Oh, and by the way, so just to show you what we did this week, we did some breeding, and unfortunately, I don't really have much to show you yet. But let's just take a look at what was done. So here is our breeding setup. We put it together. I don't know if it's last week I was getting it ready, but as you can see, all the parameters on here. The fish have been in the tanks and they've been removed already. I think they went in on Monday, and Tuesday they were in there till Wednesday. I took out two of the tanks took out, and then today, or yeah, maybe it was today, I took out these. Now why? This tank has Desmopuntius hexazona. So in other words, sometimes they're referred to as pentazona barbs. What we did was we put 2 males and 3 females in this tank. What I did was I put a net bottom and a support to keep the net from hitting the bottom. And the support I used was a grill, a white grill that was used as a divider. It's actually a divider. I put in a clump of Java moss, and there's a little filter that's just barely bubbling. And the temperature was close to 80. And I put in mostly RO to get the pH down. In this case, I got the pH down to 6.6. There's the 30 ppm, 79 degrees, and this is what we did. Now, I had some small ones and some big ones, so I wanted to see the difference, if there was success with breeding the pentazonas or hexazonas on SM, or the smaller ones, the younger ones, or the older ones, the large ones. So in this tank I had 2 males and 2 females that were older, and their parameters are almost identical. And we did the measuring using our meter. This is our meter. It's a Milwaukee 802, and I took the measurements of the TDS, everything but the temperature. So this tank here, we did one pair of Pethia patamayas, which is another word or a scientific name for Odessa barbs. So this is one pair of Odessa barbs, also put on in 4.9. And what we have here is hopefully a batch. And this one here is the most interesting one. These are the snakeskin barbs. So I put in 2 males and 3 females. That's what you see here. We did 80, 20 ppm, but I was able to get the pH down to 4.7. Now, if you're wondering, how did I get the pH down to 4.7? Well, by using very low TDS, there's very little calcium in the water. I use this contraption. This is a filter, little box filter, in which I have added a layer of super peat moss. The super peat moss is here, and it's very expensive, but I was able to get a box, and so I'm using it. And just by filtering it for a number of hours, it will slowly drop the pH all the way down, in this case to 4.7. And these barbs typically are known to be breeding in low pH. Now they're not in here, but what I did notice was they were the only ones that I saw what looked to be like some eggs down at the bottom that had fungus. When you see a few fungused eggs, it means they were infertile and they were going bad. So I carefully looked, and I saw some of those fungused eggs, and I says, oh, they spawned. So if we did get snakeskin barbs to spawn, this would be the second time in my life, in my history, to ever get these things to spawn. I was never able to raise any fry in the previous attempts, but in this case, we're going to see if we got any spawn, and I hope we did get a few. It would be really nice. The males and females were separated for a while and conditioned up on live foods, and then they were put together in these conditions and left there for about 2 days. So I leave them 2, maybe sometimes 3 days if I don't see any signs of breeding. These on the Hexazonas, I always leave them longer. I always leave them because it takes a day before they settle down. By the 3rd or 4th day, then they start showing more activity and they start breeding. And I didn't get any film of that because I was just been so busy doing other things. As you saw from the beginning of this live stream, some of the things going on in the fish room. But I felt like we got to get them together. And right now, if I look for fry, honestly, I'm not expecting to see any. I keep it dark. And the reason I keep it dark is because there's no sense in bright lights, because it just makes them skittish. But you know what? When you take a flashlight and you shine it in the dark, and they're used to the dark, they move. They kind of like bolt away. And when I see movement, that's how I spot them. And so when I see them swirling away, then I say, oh, they got fry. So I haven't seen any fry, but I just took the parents out. So I'm going to give it another day or two. Maybe I'll spot some later this week or so, and we can have some celebrations if we get any spawning. Of course, not every time you're going to get a spawning. That's why I have 2 tanks for this fish. I also have given this an attempt. This is just the first attempt, and we will attempt it many times, because we're going to get some snakeskins whether we like it or not. That's how I feel about them. We're going to really break into their lockbox and see if we can't get them to do something. And I'm so glad you all stayed to the end, because I have some exciting news, though I could be devastated right now. I don't know. But as you can see, there is 1 tank that's covered. And the reason it's covered is because it is possible that this pair of flag cichlids was about to lay eggs. So I decided to use the little box and drop the pH. And so that's what we did. We dropped the pH until it was, I don't know, this pair here, they're getting darker. When they get really dark, that's when they spawn. And so this pair doesn't spawn as often as the other pair. But the other pair keeps spawning, but it's always disastrous. They either eat the eggs, or I've taken the eggs out and they've just nothing hatched. But I think it's the pH. So now this is what we did. I'm going to see if we can do a peeky in the corner, because they spawned right up against the front glass. Now in the front glass, it is unfortunate because I didn't want to spook them. So when I saw them selecting the corner front, I put the cardboard up, and I've been very careful not to peek too much. See if we can see anything. Are they there? Oh, she's there. See that? Oh, they're both there. But do they have any babies? They should have hatched by now. But the pH in here is like 4.4. It is super, super, super low. But we were super desperate, and the fish seem to be doing good. Now let me just kind of open it up a little bit more. And I'm gonna see if I can check with my eyes. Okay, I don't see any eggs. Did they eat the eggs? Do they eat the fry? I noticed the female, she's got her pectoral fin all chewed up. Maybe they're looking for food. They don't, do they have babies down there? It's kind of hard to tell, huh? I don't see any. Definitely the rock is clean. That's where they laid them. But if they did hatch, they would have moved them. Probably not too far away. Oh, how disappointing. I don't see any, and from their behavior, the way they're chasing one another, I don't know. I don't know if it's babies or not, but now they're being spooked away. So I'll give them a few more days, and then we'll see. This pair, we'll check the pH, and we'll see, because if this pair is starting to darken up, they might lay. We're gonna keep working with the pH on there. Let's go ahead and take a reading. That would be the greatest thing, to see what kind of reading we're getting. Okay, I just put the probe in. Okay, the pH of this tank is 4.8, 4.7. It's very low pH. There's a couple of baby super reds in here. I was worried about dropping the pH on them. It'd be too much, but they seem to be okay. He's right there on the heater, see? It hasn't killed them. So I don't know. Yeah. So here we have no eggs. These guys are taking a little longer. So, but I'm not going to lower the pH anymore. I can put the filter back in and just start filtrating. But look, it's 4.7. So I'm not going to lower it anymore. That's as low as it needs to be. And let's just check this tank that they did lay and see what happens. I'm going to just move it over to this tank and take a look at what it is. 4.6, 4.5, yeah, 4.4, yeah, it's really low. 4.3. Maybe what it needs to do is, when the eggs get ready to hatch, see if they hatch, and if they do hatch, maybe I need to, at that point, start a little drip process to take the maybe I need to get the pH higher. So that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. One last look. Let's take one last look at our new females. Yeah, this pair here is looking good. And here's our females. Some of them are really colored up. You can tell they're females. They've got black fins on the bottom, the ventral fins, and you can see the black splotch is really rich and yellow. Yeah. And so it's interesting that what I did was I actually took the I actually took the um, I actually what was I going to say? I'm looking for my stand so I can put my stand down. The phone was okay. We were talking about the females. Oh, I actually did the research, and I wanted to know the flag cichlids. What is the optimum pH that they should be at? So what I found out was that if you go to the internet, they say, "Oh yeah, these cichlids are supposed to be from um, 6.7 to 7.6." Went to another website, 6.7, 7.6. Another website, 6.7 and 7.6. And I started thinking this is kind of strange, because I wonder. And then I found a very in-depth website that had real information about these particular fish, more of the history and everything. Somebody had done a lot of research. And they were showing it to be 4.4 as the low. So some are closer to 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, somewhere in there. And I thought to myself, how can they be so wrong in some of these websites? And what I've discovered is that a lot of websites just copy information from other websites. And so, in other words, they haven't done the research, they don't know. If they're going by the book. I think the information I found was in the Cichlid Atlas, and I went to the Cichlid Atlas and I looked up the flag cichlid and I found it, and the information in there was a lot different than what you were at. Yeah. So 3.5 in no time. Yeah, thank you, Red Laser. Yes, I understand. I've been watching it. It seems to be stabilized. It's not going down any. And I might do some small water changes just to see if I can stabilize the pH. Wouldn't be bad to be close to 5.0 and just try to keep it there. But I don't know. I realize that the books and some of the real research, when you find it, appreciate it. So that's my experience. A lot of it is, I'm not the professor. I'm not the one, even though I look like a professor. Actually, I'm not the one who has all this in depth on every species. I enjoy learning. If it wasn't for fish keeping being so diverse and having so many things to study and learn, if it's not African cichlids, it's South American dwarfs, or it's apistogramma, or it's barbs, it's tetras. There's so much to do, and there's so much to investigate, and so much to have fun with. And that's what makes this hobby so tremendous and so special. And people have their favorites, and I respect them for whatever favorite they like and whatever they enjoy. And some people, it's just angelfish all the way, and I have angelfish too, but they're awesome. It's just some of the most wonderful things that one can enjoy. I mean, I'm flabbergasted when I see baby discus feeding off the slime coat of their parents. It amazes me. Or a cloud of maculapinis being herded by the parents that are 500, maybe 1,000 times bigger than they are, Or, some of the most amazing things is you put a pair together here in the breeding rack, and voila, suddenly you have a tank of 200. The final count on those rosy barbs from the previous breeding program? The final count was 205. So we ended up with 205 rosy barbs at the time of transfer. So they're over there growing up at the fish house, and we'll take a look at them sometime. We're going to try to breed some more because Malik would like to put some in his ponds. We also have some rainbow shiners, and I'm doing okay with those. Although I wish I could breed a few more than I have, but I think it's because of I have not enough females in my breeding group. But be that as it may, you know, there are fish that people are putting in their ponds now, so that could be. Somebody asked a question. I did see the red question, and it was, "What do you feed?" It was from Benjamin Peters. Do you feed during the breeding sessions? And the answer is one thing and one thing only. Live Daphnia. And the reason I feed live Daphnia while they're breeding is because it stimulates breeding and the Daphnia don't die. If I do baby brine shrimp, they won't get it all, and a lot of them will die in the tank, and that's no good. Any kind of flakes or powders or anything is no good. It's just going to foul the water, because these have to be as clean as possible for those eggs to not be fungused. And when they hatch and they're free swimming, I will start with the paramecia, and then the paramecia will be replaced with baby brine shrimp, or vinegar eels, and that's the answer. Because even if in some cases I've had some species of fish, baby fish, in the tank, and they can't eat the Daphnia, but the Daphnia just coexists with them, and guess what? As the fish grow, they will eat the Daphnia. And in the meantime, the Daphnia throw off little babies that they can eat. So it's a win-win situation. Live Daphnia is perfect for that. And so that's the only food I use to sustain them. And in cases like this where they're going to be in the tank for more than a couple minutes. So I believe that conflicting information on breeding parameters can be due to what they breed and compared to what the eggs will hatch in. I bred pistos in heavily salted tank, exact opposite. But what about the hatching? Yeah, see, the problem was I wasn't having hatching. They've been breeding. They've been laying eggs. In fact, the last time when I pulled the eggs, we had 2 hatch. 2 out of the whole batch. The rest all turned white. So those babies, I thought, well, they hatched, they'll survive. No, they didn't, and they didn't even survive, because I think the pH is too high. So I think at early age, they have to be in low pH, and I think that's what's going to be the key. But that's my theory, and we're going to test it out. I got 2 pairs running here. We got plenty of low pH tank water to play with, so let's find out, and let's see how they do. So Grant and Shelby are definitely going to be the best resource for shrimp information. Grant, you're talking about Garden of Eden, Grant? Yes. Yeah, he didn't come. He gave a talk on Zoom at our club meeting when I think it was last year, and we really enjoyed that. He's such a great person, and knows so much about shrimp. Catch all the questions. That was all I have in mind. Does anybody else have a question? I think I got it. Anybody notice any questions I missed? If I didn't answer your question, can you say it right now? Because it's time. Oh, it's past time. It's already past time. So thank you everybody for joining. And so it's time. If LRB has already started, then I'm sorry. Jump over there, say hello. I have a question for him too, so I'm going to jump over there. And thank you for the big experiment tonight. This was a test of the we'll see you in 2 weeks. Actually, no live stream next week, but we'll see you in 2 weeks. And I probably will go back to the landscape format. I don't know if I like this portrait format. I don't know. I think you see more in the fish tank when the fish are like going past and is wider rather than taller. But okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining. And as always, support your local club. And there'll be a club meeting for the Peel Regional Aquarium Club members this coming Wednesday. Check out the auction link. It was posted at the website. Also, everyone, thank you so much for your support and being a member, and all those who contribute. It's just wonderful to have such a community. And as always, enjoy your fish most of all. Enjoy your hobby and keep it real.